Whereabouts are you in the world at the moment?
I'm in Las Vegas, which is home for me, and currently in the music studio. And yeah, I was just about to get in with some recordings
Oh,
right after
wow.
our interview. So,
Oh, fantastic. Well, listen, it's an honor to have you back here on Ride Time
thanks
Radio.
for having me, and I apologize for a little delay.
No, no, don't worry. Hey, listen, if all women do that, right? All women are late. Yeah. If you're not late, then it wouldn't be a woman thing, would it? So,
Well,
um,
actually, I will correct you here. I'm normally a person that hates to be late and
yeah,
is always uh, actually ready in advance. I'm normally waiting for people. And in fact, this time it was my computer that delayed me. I was here for a
right.
while.
Uh,
Yeah, I wasn't home for some weeks because I had to travel to Europe, and I forgot my computer on, which made some little hiccups here and there when I had to restart everything.
exactly.
So that's what happened. But yeah,
And
normally,
that's always the same with Zoom because whenever you switch the computer on with Zoom, there's always a crazy update that comes on first, and you're like
yeah,
not
right.
expecting it at all. Oh, we
And
have
I'm
the dog
so
with us as well.
always, yes, she's always here with me.
I see on social media yesterday you was out on the town enjoying Las Vegas again. Yeah, you had a good day.
Yes, yes, it was very great time, even though my feet are killing me because I chose the most uncomfortable shoes for that walk. I underestimated how much I'm gonna walk with my friend, but it was all worth it.
Yeah,
Such a beautiful city if you know where to look, just like any cities, I guess.
nice to be home.
It's nice to be home, even though for quite a little bit, not enough to like really feel like you're home, you know.
Yeah.
But that's fine, you know. When I'm home for too long, then I miss traveling and touring. So it's a good balance.
So it's been also like over a year since we talked last year, and we had a great time the last time we spoke, and it was nice to get you to open up and sort of see and listen to you talking because we see such great imagery of you on the web, and you're very powerful on stage. Tell me about the Chile tour. Tell me about the European tour, the Butcher Babes. Tell me what's been going on for the last year.
Well, a lot has been going on, to be honest. We had a quite intense 2025. And even though we were trying to take it a little bit easier, at least on the second part of the year, because we are in a composing mode right now,
Okay.
but still, I feel like even though we had less shows in the second part of the year, but we had a lot of travel and a lot of work going on, it's nonstop.
Yeah.
So I don't complain. I'm actually super, super grateful for the intensity of work because it makes it interesting. It makes it, you know, if it's not challenging, it's not as interesting, at least in my opinion, you know. So, of course, challenges to a certain extent. I am a human being, so I wouldn't be able to challenge myself too much. But a little bit of challenge, I think, makes the game a bit more interesting. And I'm grateful for that challenge because every time when you accomplish something, it's so much more rewarding knowing what went you know, behind the scenes, what actually was going on. Unfortunately, I had to deal with some health issues, but that again, another reminder that we are human beings, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
and
wait, go on, go on.
No, I was just saying that everything is fine. I was just getting a small little reminder, I guess, from myself that no one is invincible.
When you was
Everything
in,
is fine. Everything is under control. No problems
okay,
at all. And yeah, but we are being creative, second part of the year, with a lot of new composing, new filming, a lot of collaborations. In fact, my one of my recent collaborations just came out with a German band, Lord of the Lost.
yeah, I've seen that.
Absolutely proud of being on this track, on this video. It was really, really fun. And yeah, we recently announced the very first tour for 2026, which our friends from Butcher Babies will join us.
Okay.
and yeah, across Europe. And there is a US tour that will be announced very soon, right after, but I can't tell you a lot about it yet.
Okay, let's go back to Chile. Yeah, because that was the next tour that you was doing. When I spoke to you last, you was over to Chile. There was lots of problems with visas and stuff like
It
that to
was
actually
actually
get
Latin
there.
America. It was a
Yeah.
Latin America problem more than a specific country of Latin America.
Okay.
And it was something we had to choose, unfortunately, because, um, yeah, like, certain bureaucracies and rules of certain countries, and agreements between countries are actually way different than we know, and we only like get to find out when we actually have to apply for a permission to visit the country, right, or to perform. So yeah, we wanted to have a whole Latin America tour that included, I think initially it was around 10 different countries in Latin America, give or take some. I don't remember exactly because it was a long time ago now. And we were able to only visit two, Brazil and Chile, but we had a lot of fun, and we did the most we could in the two countries, and the experience was absolutely fantastic. Hopefully, for the next um, available Latin American tour, in the you know in the books, we would be a little bit more prepared. And when I say we, I don't only mean the musicians, because it's not really up to the musician the majority of the time. There's a bigger team behind the
Of course.
curtains that you guys don't know, and they are doing such an amazing job in helping us getting these permissions and visas and travels arranged and everything, right? And sometimes it's a big surprise even for them to find out that, oh my God, this took so much longer than we expected. Often people think it's an easier process and they leave it a bit too last minute, and it and ends up not happening because there's not enough time, not enough physical time to actually go to a different country completely, to an embassy of a country you're trying to visit, because we don't even have those embassies in Moldova, right? So obviously it makes the whole task a bit more difficult. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's what we faced. We dealt with it. We experience.
It's a learning curve, I suppose, for the whole team, isn't it? Like you say,
Yeah,
it's not just the musicians. You're relying on your sort of administration team to get you through,
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah. And it's
management
not.
team, and it's not an easy thing. The world is more connected, but we seem to have got smaller over the last couple of years, definitely in being able to move about, and things are becoming quite difficult in the world. When you're traveling now and you're sort of going into different countries, and you're playing to the crowds. How is that travel experience now? Are you finding it more difficult as a whole? Are you finding it difficult, to be receptive in different places, not by the fans, but just by the actual different sort of countries as you get to the borders?
Well, yes and no. So of course, throughout years and throughout time, certain things have changed. We change as people, and of course, our bodies change, and our bodies' needs change, and that is one factor that not enough people talk about it, in my opinion. Because it's completely different to tour in your 20s and to tour in your 40s. So, and I'm sure it's completely different to tour in your 50s and 60s and so on, Like, I think people don't talk enough about it. It's a thing, And but of course that is just one mm, tiny tiny detail. Um Culture, like you say, is a bigger detail. Certain countries are definitely more um accepting of all kinds of looks, styles of people, or specifically just as simple as the question, at the border, that like, what style of music are you playing? When you say metal, it's very very like, you can see and feel the judgment in the air. You know what I mean? Like you can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that they're like, oh, these guys, they are drug addicts probably. And then, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, oh,
uh,
100%.
yes, but again, it depends on the country. Of course, we are talking culture is something that builds with time and changes also with time, thanks to the newer generations and what the newer generation brings to the table and so on, right? When I know when I was a teenager, things were very weird for our parents to see and so on, and it's going to be like that. It's a chain, right?
Yeah,
And it all depends. Mm, Technically, you know, borders are half of our problems because in theory, if you are all good and all your you follow the rules, everything will be fine sooner or later, no matter how judgmental the person in front of you is, right? Sometimes it's a bit more difficult when it comes to understanding the crowd itself, especially if it's a newer country for you. Like last year, I feel like we got such an amazing taste of different cultures because last year we were able to play in countries we've never been before, like some countries of Asia. We've been to China, Japan, we've been to Australia, and we've been to Latin America, all for the first time, and that is huge difference in culture. But it's beautiful, like from my perspective as a human being, I'm fascinated by different cultures, and I don't get upset or judgmental myself if I'm not accepted right away. As long as it's not aggressive, of course. If it's
yeah.
aggressive, then of course you find it difficult to be like, oh, I understand you. You know what I mean? But if it's just genuine curiosity or questions or extra long looks, it's fine. Like I grew up in Eastern Europe, I've been looked like that my whole life, so I'm kind of used to it.
What about the crowds? I mean, I've seen and I've followed the band for, a few years now, and I've seen the crowds now get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I've seen you play to the like sort of mediocre venues a few years ago, but now the crowds that you're playing to now can be huge sometimes, especially when you're doing some of the festivals and you're in with different bands. How are you feeling now before you walk out on that stage? Are you still nervous? Are you still, are you getting like cold feet when you walk out, or are you just absolutely loving it?
So it's a mix of feelings, and it doesn't matter how big the crowd is. It doesn't matter if it's a small venue or a huge, gigantic festival with thousands of, sometimes like even hundred of thousands of people, right? The difference is only into um like there is a little bit of worry when we play on huge stages of big festivals. There's always this little bit of worry, at least in my head, of hope, that the little hope of things like going smooth when it comes to technical things, because
Okay,
I am very sure and very mm, how to say, I think the word sure is actually perfect here when it comes
confident.
to
Yeah,
us. Confident. Yeah, I'm confident in us as a band, as musicians, as human beings. But sometimes equipment can, it's equipment. It can, anything can happen. Even like extra heat can put your equipment down, and it happened to us for on stages. When you travel and you transport your equipment, a lot of things could shift and change, and often we don't even have time to do like a decent sound check or even a line check, in big festivals like that. There's way too many bands and there's not enough time.
yeah,
So that is the only thing that is present, um like in my mind, right? In comparison with like a smaller venue where we headline, and I know that the entire team is there, and if something happens, it's totally fine because we will solve it
Yeah.
easier and faster without having to cut our songs like set lists shorter, and
Uh,
or without like getting a bad experience for our fans. But if we are not thinking about those things, right, the worry part, then I would say that it's all the same. Especially for me, I have, of course, a lot of emotions before I step on stage. It is a conflict between what am I doing, like is what I have to offer even like needed to people? Do people even need this? Am I even worthy of their attention? Like a mix of feelings like that, together with a very happy and very grounded feeling of the moment, being like, we are going to share something so special together with these strangers today, and we have so much more in common that than we think. It's going to be amazing, right? But the moment I step on stage, neither of these feelings are in my head or in my nervous system or anything like that. I feel like home on stage. I really do. And it was a big surprise for me when I first stepped on stage with Infected Rain in 2008, with the very first show ever. I didn't know, of course. I was not familiar with this feeling and this sensation. And when I felt it, I loved it so much that I got addicted to that feeling of belonging, and feeling of you know maybe just for a split second giving this extra hope or extra sensation to this complete stranger that is there watching you, listening to you, a sensation of not being alone in the world, in a specific emotion, in a specific situation, just through the lyrics and through what we have to say musically. I feel like there's so much connection with people, and there's not enough of this unity felt in the world without music, and
yeah, music is a big,
what
big connection for everybody.
yeah, it's a huge connection. And I've always loved music, always, since I was a child. And but I never knew that feeling. So the moment I step on stage, I always feel the same feeling that I felt that first time I was on stage with Infected Rain. And that feeling really comforts me. And I'm not afraid to um, look funny. I'm not afraid to look ridiculous. I'm not afraid to look ugly. I'm not afraid to cry, to laugh. I'm not afraid to say the wrong thing or the wrong word. I just feel accepted. I
You
feel
you
good.
you
And
look very, very at home on stage
thank
when I
you.
see you.
Thank
You
you.
look very at home,
That's nice.
and I've been following some of the new video work as well that you've been doing, and you talk about lyrics there. Cut me open and see the shades of blue, a reflection of the pain I've been through, right? And what a scary video. I was watching this video when I saw it come out for the first time, and I thought, oh, Lena's got a video. Let me see. And then you're starting to get upset and cry, and then it turns into this huge open wound. And tell me about that whole thing that is going on there.
Well, that's a really interesting music video and song. We are talking about the song Because I Let You from our previous album called Time. It is definitely the song and the music video that shocked the majority of people, both visually and, the audio. Shocked in better ways than I expected, because I knew that a little bit the macabre tones and visuals to the music video might get some hatred. We literally filmed it in a mortuary
Wow. Did you?
office. I was laying on the mortuary table,
Uh,
a working one, like a one that is in use, is what I'm trying to say. And I had this prosthetic on my belly, which was basically imitating an open belly with my guts out and like a lot of like blood and gore and stuff like that. Now, the reason behind it is also another um, intimate moment that I wanted to share with the people that are actually listening to Infected Rain and listening to the lyrics and actually want to know more behind each song. This is very similar to what we just talked about. Feeling so real and so here and so vulnerable in with complete strangers, right? Of course the song is about something completely different. I'm sharing a very traumatic love experience that probably 99% of the people on this planet have at least felt a little bit of sooner or later in their life, unfortunately, because unfortunately we often get hurt by people we love in a way or another, either physically or mentally, or they're just scarred for life. And it's all very unique. And my situation is not necessarily worse than yours, or our listeners. It's just my own situation, and I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to heal from it together with other people that feel the same. So, of course, it's not something that happens from a day to another, and it's not something that will happen often, even in months. Often, you need a whole, a whole life to heal from something and to understand how much you actually learned from that trauma. And I thought that this is the most perfect song when when I received the music part of this song, and I knew this is going to be just very very emotional, probably not even, probably too emotional for a music video. But when I delivered the song to my musicians, they loved it so much, and I remember the reaction was very positive and supportive, and they said we need to film a music video for this 100%. I was terrified because I knew that songs that get to have a music video are considered singles, if we want to
Yeah.
talk, radio language. And these singles are normally the songs that are the most expected to be played live. I was terrified. I didn't know. I was like, it's one thing to like film a music video, and it's completely different to play this song every night on tour. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna be able to sing the next song
And
after, right?
okay.
So I
Do you
spoke with
find
my.
cancel? Do you find canceling when you write your lyrics? We talked about your early childhood, where in the last interview, and we talked
Mhm.
about the way that you had to raise yourself and bring yourself and work and stuff like that. Do you find canceling the music now as you've got older and you write about your experiences? Do you find canceling that? Do you find that it helps you sort of come
Oh
to
yeah,
terms with things? Yeah.
it is definitely the best therapist I have ever had, and I've had some therapy in the past with in different times of my life, and it was very helpful. And I will probably have some more in my life as well, because I am a strong believer that it is a good way to know yourself better and to help yourself in ways that maybe you didn't even think that could help you. So, but I will definitely confirm that music, even just listening to music, can be so therapeutic. But if you are a musician and you're able to deliver certain emotions and certain traumas, even happy moments, like all kinds of emotions, like there are so many shades, right, of different emotions out there. If you're able to use that as a good tool of healing, then it will heal you. And I think that it's a very common tool that a lot of artists use to heal or to express themselves. Um, it's like it's very cathartic. Is that the word? Like from a catharsis, I
Yeah.
think, if I'm
Cathartic.
pronouncing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cathartic. Yeah.
Cathartic. Yes.
It's
Thank you
also,
so
it
much.
must be very humbling as well to know, because you know you are doing this, you are connecting to the fans in a way that
Yeah,
they are also listening to your music, and they are finding counsel in that for their own
absolutely.
different things as well.
Absolutely.
And that must be a great feeling to have, you know, to know that
Very
you're doing that for
interesting.
people.
It's a very interesting feeling. I know I've had bands that created songs like that for me, and um obviously they didn't create the songs for me, but I found it for myself as a teenager, and growing up and shaping my personality throughout my life. I was always searching for an escape or a help in music. I always thought that it's the best way. Often it can be even better than, a friend that can listen to you, or a friend that can suggest something, or a family member or a significant other. Often it's just exactly what you need, because when you don't know what you need, it means that you just need to be heard. You just need to feel connected and not feel alone, because we definitely know for sure in life when we need suggestion, or when we need a guidance, or when we just need someone to listen. We definitely know it's such a um palpable almost sensation. You know what you need. But when you don't know what you need, and you're lost, and you feel a certain way and you can't explain it, only music. Only
Yeah.
music.
And they can, you know, when you can connect to a band and you can play that music, and that helps you find that path again, that gives you that extra breath when you need it, you know, that's a great thing that musicians do, you know, all over the world. Let's talk about collaborations, right? You've done some great work over the last year. You've, like you say, you've done Lord of the Lost. I've been watching a bit of that video lately. That's just been released. But you've also done Butcher Babes. You've also been on tour with lots of different bands in Europe, because the European tour has been very good for you. Most memorable moment so far?
It's hard for me to choose a memorable moment out of such diverse things like touring, collaborating. It's all music, and music is the best memories that one can have. I've created collaborations with smaller bands, bigger bands, and some musicians that don't even have bands, that just want to, uh, you know, get their dreams come true, and create something together with other musicians that they appreciate their, musicality, or their skill, or their personality, or what they have to deliver. But I think that the best memory is always the result of this hard work. So, like, for example, the result when we finally get to give to people this music video that we've been working on for over a year now, or an album that we've been putting so much into it. So much goes behind an album. You have no idea. It's like, maybe you do actually have an idea, but like a majority of people don't really understand how much there is behind one album cycle, and what does it entail, and what does it come with. Same with touring. Like, it's not like you just pick and go on tour, like just putting a tour together, getting ready for it, rehearse for it, then travel for it, and then finally be on tour, and then finally finishing a whole leg of touring, which often includes 6 days out of a week, non-stop playing, maybe one day off a week, every day new places, sometimes lack of sleep, sometimes lack of food, sometimes so much going on, right? But the great feeling, the great sensation is the reward after. Like when you did it and you put it out there, and it's so rewarding. It's actually eternal, if you think about it that way. It's eternal. It's an eternal memory for somebody that actually visited your show. It's an eternal song that will probably outlive you, no matter how famous you get or don't get famous. It doesn't matter. It's just gonna be out there, or an album, or a music video. It's so interesting how much, really. is going on after you give something to people, and that is the best reward. So that is the best moment that I would choose if, answering your
Yeah.
question.
Okay. And let's talk about sort of like in between touring now. Because you're nonstop, right? You have been nonstop for what, the last sort of touring, what, nonstop 4 or 5 years? You've been nonstop for, you just constantly on the go and on and on and on and all the band. And if you're not with the band, then you're, like you say, you're collaborating. What are you doing to get your rest and sort of resuscitation? How are you coping with all of that constant work?
Well, honestly, I'm quite simple when it comes to that. I really like quiet, and I love watching a good movie. I like reading a good book. I love being in the nature, spending some times with my dog or my close family or friends. I don't do anything too crazy. Recently, I learned that I have to take more vacations than I I mean, I love vacations, but I just don't take enough. And I've learned how important taking a big break, even from your own house, and going somewhere, doing nothing in the middle of the nature or just somewhere to like reset, how important that is for your nervous system and for your creativity too, really. But yeah, I mean, when I am off and I really am not composing, collaborating with somebody, recording or touring, I pretty chill. Yeah, I just like to take care of my little house and watch a movie, cook something delicious for dinner, and yeah,
Get
just enjoy
armpits
quiet
tattooed?
moments.
Get
What?
armpits tattooed when you're
Well, yeah,
relaxing. Get your armpits tattooed,
you need to
because
you need to have something spicy in the life, right?
I'm going to ask you because everybody's going to want to know, and you've probably already been asked. And you said to me the last time, "Don't ask me about tattoos and things like that," because everybody does. But
Yeah,
since
yeah.
that conversation, you had your armpits tattooed. So I want to know. I want to know first of all, did you use any numbing cream, or did you go for it without, or did you go for the
So
whole pain? What did you do?
so for armpits, my tattoo artist chose something in between. So I
Okay.
always go based on the tattoo artist. Of course, if I can avoid pain, then of course I will, because I do not like pain. How many people think that, tattooed people actually love pain? That's a
Yeah.
big myth. I actually do not like physical pain. I have enough of my own. But I do love the art of tattooing, so I do go often willingly through certain pain.
Yeah.
When it comes to my armpits, we had three sessions in total.
On each
So
arm
no, three sessions in total for both
or both.
arms. And
Okay.
the result, yeah. So the first session we had to so-called put the stencil on the placement, so to make
Okay.
sure that it's symmetrical because it's this type of tattoo, and to actually outline where things go and how. And because we are not exactly symmetrical, it takes some time and it takes some dedication. That first session had no numbing or anything.
Very
And
difficult to
the
do on the first one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then when it comes to the other two sessions, there was some spraying of some numbing stuff that my tattoo artist is comfortable working with here
Yeah.
and there. There was a mix between a bearable pain and some relaxing moments in certain areas. Yes.
It's one of the worst areas to get tattooed because
Yeah.
it's
It's
so
quite.
sensitive there.
The
And
thing is, it all
go on.
depends on person. Some people are way more sensitive in other areas, and really the most tender areas are not necessarily the same for everybody. I've heard people saying that their knees were way more painful, or some other areas in their body were way more painful. So to be honest with you, I will answer you just like I tell anybody. It's very, very unique from person to person.
You haven't got much room left now, have you? I mean, you've got pretty much the whole body done now. Was that your aim? Like if you look back, say, Lena 10 years ago, was that your aim 10 years ago to
Oh,
be sort of
never
body
was.
body tattooed? No, you just kind of
Yeah,
went with it. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I never had really planned, oh, I will, eventually go for that. If I had that planned, I would have had my body fully tattooed already,
Right.
long ago. Because I, it so just happened that, I mean, a lot of musicians will agree with me. Tattoo artists and musicians are often friends because it's a very alternative um, job. Both
Yeah.
jobs are very alternative, and often we do have friends in both different industries, but we do have friends in common, or somebody that knows somebody. And it just so happened that I know a lot of tattoo artists, and I'm super super grateful for all my friends tattoo artists that have used me as a model, or that have make my dreams come true, and create some ideas that I always wanted. But yes, to answer you, that is a very common question that I actually get often. I never planned to be fully tattooed, to be honest. I loved it on other people, but I never thought that that would be something that I go for. I do remember, however, when we had a more downtime during COVID times, I do remember thinking that I think I will feel a bit more comfortable if my legs will be actually fully covered in tattoos, because of the skin quality changing with time, and the skin imperfections that are out there that you're always trying to hide, either with tights or with pants or whatever. And no one is perfect, and we all have our own things that we don't like about our own bodies. And I've decided then to approach one of the friends in the tattoo industry that I have, and ask him if he was comfortable working on this project together. In fact, we are almost done with both legs. There is only one little area left. And yeah, I'm super, super, super grateful and very happy with the results. I love it. And it just, with time, I've collected some other tattoos here and there that connected other parts of my body. And now it looks more like a suit than ever, even though I do have a lot of areas in my body that are not fully tattooed like people think.
I think the photos. There's so much material of you online. You know, from when you was younger, and you've changed so much as well because your tattoos have changed so much. You know, you've gone over tattoos. You've reworked stuff. You've had stuff covered and used different black art and stuff like that. Is there any sort of regret with some of the photos that you see now that are going? Would you ever think, so, oh, I wish that hadn't have been like
Yes,
that? Yeah,
actually. Yes, actually, there are some photos that I just can't believe how viral they went. Some photos from my earlier modeling, which were very much more erotic photos, let's say. And I hate how um, the with time, how um overused those photos got, because only because of the actual photo shoot was meant to be a certain way to show off certain tattoos, and because they were for some tattoo magazines. And I really really hate how the less you wear, the more popular those photos become. It's just the human race is very predictable, I guess. But do I hate it to the point where I hate those photos of me? No, no, no. I don't regret doing those photos. I just regret what people do with those photos after.
yeah.
So
Good answer.
I've loved being in front of camera. My previous job was in the fashion. I was a hair and makeup artist. I worked with a lot of models, and then eventually I started being a model as well, because photographers were encouraging me to also model for them. And I just really loved being creative, and putting together certain visuals. And some are more interesting than others, some are more feminine and more uh, you know um, like mm, some are more macabre. I don't know. I like to
You're
to
very
to
photogenic
create
on
it.
you're very, you're very photogenic, and because you're so you have such a powerful image, and I think
Thank you.
it's actually nice to see the earlier photos and see how you've developed so much, through the years as an artist, as a musician, and you really now, you know, when some of the images that I see of you now are so powerful and they're just such a great visual of you, you know, they spell out who
Thank
you
you.
are, you know,
I
and
definitely I definitely have changed a lot as a person, but also I've changed a lot as an artist. And
yeah.
I do understand that maybe the 10 or 15 or even 20-year-old younger version of me was not as creative and was not as diverse as I am right now. It's still okay. I accept that about myself. I don't hate anything I've ever done because that would be very foolish to regret something that you cannot change. I
I
try to
think it's
learn.
all stepping stones, isn't it? You know,
It's
from
a
where you
learning
were then
process.
to where you are now.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't have, like, getting back to your question, I don't have any regrets, but do I see certain unpleasant things online about it? Yes, I do. And I can't do anything about it because I can't change people.
Let's talk about the future then. We've got the band now. You've just done the new releases. You've done the Lord of the Lost. What have we got in store now? Are you going to rest now for a while? Are you going to? You'll say you're doing some studio work now. So are we going to be off tour for a bit? What's happening in 2026?
So, until March of 2026, we are composing, recording, and filming some more for the new upcoming album of Infected Rain, which has no release date yet. We are just taking our time, having fun, being creative, and doing what we love to do. Now, there are some travels to Europe to make this come true. There are also some collaborations that will come out very soon. One, I believe, will come out in December, and the other, I am not sure exactly, but there are other collaborations that I've done earlier this year that will soon come out. And I'm super excited for people to hear a little bit of a different version of my voice for different projects. And yeah, I mean, other than that, we just get ready for 2026 with this huge tour, basically two tours, because they are going to be one, after another. And then summer, as always, is the festival season, so
Yeah.
we are excited about that as well. Yeah, pretty much that's what's up.
Good. Well, listen, it's fantastic to talk to you again, as always. I'm really grateful that you take the time out to talk to me. Hopefully, we'll be able to catch up with you again in another 12 months' time where we'll see what you and the band has been up to. I'd like to personally thank you and the band for the amazing talent that you put out there. The music, the live shows are amazing. I don't know how you're ever going to get any better, but I'm sure you will because the power that the band, and I said this the last time we spoke, the power on stage that the band gives out is absolutely amazing. And as a vocalist and an artist, you are absolutely amazing, Lena.
Thank you
And
so much for the kind words.
I enjoy every moment that I see of you. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So thank you
Thank
very
you. Well,
much.
we can come back to a new interview when the new album comes out.
Fantastic. That'd be
All right.
wonderful. I will definitely be in touch then for the Barcelona show because
All
Barcelona is
right.
such a wonderful place.
Absolutely.
And it's a great place to see you play. And maybe I can get some VIP and come backstage and see you.
Perfect. Well, I'll see you then. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the kind words.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it knowing how busy you are. All right. You have a great day, Lena. All right. And I'll speak to you very soon.
Okay. Bye.